Okay, so I made a mistake about which video it was I was supposed to give commentary on. So apologies for that. It's okay though. So talking about a Palestinian woman being dragged from her son's grave, which is disgusting. It is. It is disgusting.
Want me to save you a little of this?
Yeah, sure, that'd be fine. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on with this. Okay, so the Palestinian woman dragged from her son's grave. This is eerily similar, not exact, but similar to the situation of Dair Yassin. Now, of course, people can put different claims about what occurred at Dair Yassin, this and that, but here's the cliff notes. Once again, I did this in the other video. We're going to do it on this one as well. So Dair Yassin was basically a smaller village that was attacked by these these by the real hardcore Zionists that were ultimately LARPers. This came from groups like Ergun, and it came from a group called Palmach. So Palmach was actually a professional military force, where Ergun were basically just thugs. I'm just gonna say it. Ergun were thugs. Ergun was the ones that bombed the King David Hotel, where they dressed up as Arabs, threw the bomb in, or yeah, dropped like a milk jug filled with explosives, where 93 people died. Of course, what Zionist defenders will say, and people like Kevin Castler will say, is that, well, they got the British got plenty of notice, but the thing is they didn't want to empty the building out, which is kind of cope to me, but such is the way. The thing is that what occurred at Deir Yassin was basically the instead of the village simply being you know taken over or whatever, is that basically Ergun were pushed back, and Paul Mock had to come in, lobbed a few mortar shells, and the folks who were resisting, they were not part of any specific group or anything else like that. They were just trying to protect their village. And basically what occurred is that women and children were killed. Men, women, and children were all killed. Um, and they had their watches stolen, this and that. They were paraded through um, the city as as basically the defeated inhabitants. And now, of course, Jaya Yassin is completely blocked off. There is Hebrew graffiti all over these graves, and it's basically fenced off. No pictures, everything like that. They hate, Israelis don't like to mention it because now it's a kibbutz, largely. And we see and we see the Zionist expansionism into this grave. I'm not sure about the details of it, but as far as I know, this doesn't surprise me. And we see this disgusting display of this mother, taking care of their child's grave. And we see these pitiful Zionist cops drag her off of there, and they dig up these bodies so they can have a theme park. It's something that it's in service to capitalism, but it's also a service to Zionism. His service to the idea that we deserve it. You know, and like I said, there are plenty of folks who do not want to make the connection, but I will. The connection between the Holocaust and Zionism. Zionism would not be what it is, arguably, without the Holocaust. And of course, this is where a lot of theories come in. I'll just put it that way, where Hitler was secretly a Jew who worked with the Zionists and everything else like that. This is something apparently that was used by a British politician, as I later found out. This is something I've heard off and on, with the transfer agreement and all that sort of thing, the Havara agreement. But we see all this occurring today, and we see that because of this event, the show up, which definitely did occur, it pretty much gives a blank check and gives carte blanche to Zionists to do whatever they want, because ultimately, um, of the violence that occurs. And of course, they're defended by the fact, oh, well, look at Hamas, this and that. Oh, look at that. Oh, and they use these things as excuses so that they can, tear things down, this and that. Of course, I mean, you have these other aspects where it's like, you'll see a father, you'll see an Israeli father crying over his son's grave or something like that from being moved, and suddenly, there's no movement of him, but because of this Palestinian woman, we have to move them out of the way. It's very telling, very unsurprising, and it's very disturbing, to say the least. So anyway, apologies for the recording of the other video. I was like, oh, okay, no. So I privated that one, or excuse me, I unlisted it. So, I mean, if you want to, you can enjoy it. If not, don't worry about it. So this was the intended one that I was going to do. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that. And yeah, just try to be aware of Zionism, this and that, and be aware of the centrists, the sort of folks who say, "Oh, well, the native Jewish population of Israel." I saw that take from people like Bad Mouse Productions, who it's interesting. I mean, I will point this out again, but he said he wasn't going to talk about politics anymore. He was just going to upload random stuff. But he's sucked in as the rest of us. He's just as addicted as the rest of us to find out about these details, and he decided to, show his ass. So, that's all I got. Anyways, that's how that works, and hopefully y'all enjoy that. So, see you later. Goodbye.